Okay, let's face it, we can't all be professional photographers. Sometimes when you take a picture, whether you're using a regular camera, a digital camera, it may come out crooked. Why? Well, maybe you're holding the camera on an angle and you didn't mean to. Maybe you're on uneven ground. Whatever the case may be, there's a new feature here in CorelDRAW X4 that allows you to go into an image right from within CorelDRAW and straighten it. You don't have to take the image into some other image editing software. You can do it here in CorelDRAW now. That's what we're going to do in this lesson using the same file we were working with in the previous lesson, our menu photos file. And we're going to go to page 2. So if you've been following along, just click on page 2. If you haven't been following along, you've skipped to this lesson and you have the exercise files, you can get caught up by going to the Lesson 9 folder and opening up Menu Photos 2.cdr. And then, of course, click on the page 2 tab, because you can see we've got an image here that just doesn't look right. The image itself, the rectangle, is straight, it's level, but the image inside, the plate of spaghetti and meatballs, is not. So we need to straighten this image. Now you already have some cropping techniques under your belt. Cropping is a part of straightening or rotating an image. You'll see in a minute here. First thing I'd like to do though is zoom into that image so we can get a good close-up of it. I'm going to click and drag with my zoom tool here. Sure enough, yeah, that's not level. It just doesn't sit right. So now I'm going to go up to my pick tool and I'm going to click on the image first. This is the image I want to straighten, so it has to be selected. Now I'm going to go up to the bitmaps menu and you'll notice this new one down here, straighten image. When I click on straighten image, it opens up my lab, the straighten image lab. Remember, the image adjustment lab had some buttons up here for rotating the image. Now these are just 90-degree rotations and I don't really want to do that. I want to be able to just straighten the contents of the image. I've got my zoom options, so if I wanted to zoom in, I can click the zoom in tool, click in the area I want to zoom into. Down at the bottom you can see that that's definitely not level. I can go back to a full page view, so it fits in the window, clicking this button. Actual size by clicking the 100%, Control and the number 1 will do that as well. When you're zoomed in, you've got the hand tool as well. When you click on that, you can just move around the image. I want to go down towards the bottom here and see that this is definitely not level. I really get that feel though by going back to the Fit in Window option. So now it's time to rotate this, and we do have some options over here on the right for rotating. We can rotate an image to the left or to the right by using the slider or by entering a value here for the degrees of rotation. We can go as high as 15 and as low as -15. Well, I'm going to just play around with the slider. I'm going to click and drag it this way, and you can see what's happening. The entire image is rotating, but there are areas by default that show up here in gray. They're kind of grayed out. And those are the areas that will be automatically cropped, because the crop image checkbox should be checked off by default. If it's not, I'm going to deselect. You can see what happens. The entire image is rotated. The plate looks more level, but the image itself is crooked. So cropping is a very important part of straightening. I want that on. Now the other option is to maintain the original size of our image. It fit perfectly on our menu, so I do want to keep the original size, and watch what happens when I click this checkbox. See, it almost feels like I zoomed in. Well, now my plate looks a little more level. I think I need to go further to the left. And with those two checkboxes, I see the end result right in front of me like a live preview. And that looks good there at -3 degrees. The grid itself, you can see the gray lines. Colors, if you wanted to change them, can be changed. If you think it's easier to look at red lines, go ahead and change the color. You can also increase or decrease the space between those squares. You can see I got more squares to really figure out if things are lined up, or I can decrease it. I think that's a good option right there. And things look quite level to me now. I might go 1 more degree to the left. Not too far. I'm thinking maybe 3.4 is good. Perfect, just like that. Once you've got things looking the way you want, all you have to do now is click the OK button. If you want to start over, there is a reset button, but I like what I see, so I'm going to click OK. Takes a second, it's going to redraw itself. There we go, nice and straight. I can deselect by clicking off the page, zoom back out, Shift F4 on the keyboard zooms me out to see the end result. Same size, same original size for my image, but inside I've got a nice level plate of spaghetti and meatballs. That's the Straighten Image Lab, brand new in CorelDRAW X4.